Hi, I'm Rick Green, and I want to know why some people are so judgmental or unkind or dismissive for no apparent reason.
What if, when a person judges other people, shames them, or puts them down, they're actually talking about themselves? When someone is self-righteous or intolerant, they're actually revealing their own insecurities and unresolved guilt about what they have done or failed to do.
So I'm going to tell a story, and you can take away whatever the takeaway is that is most helpful for you. And by the way, the names have been changed to protect the innocent, and also the guilty who pretended to be innocent. All right, let's go back in time. It's a sunny spring day. A young comedian named Richard, okay, not all the names have been changed. Rick has to drive one of his parents to a retirement home where one of his grandparents lives. It's a visit. And then he has to sit for an hour and demonstrate his acting skills by pretending to be interested in the conversation. I know I should call it. So that's the scene. There are 3 generations in the room. That's the cast. The youngest is a handsome chap in his 20s. The parent, aged, and I won't say if it's father or mother, but she'd been in her 50s, I guess, and the grandparent in their 80s. At one point, this grandparent gets into a bit of a lather about a relative who's dropped by. Oh, Larry was here on Tuesday, and Larry seemed so upset about being adopted into the family. And I said, it's nothing to be ashamed of. It's not a red stain on the family or on him. It's not a scandal. It's not sinful. There's nothing wrong with it. It's not the mark of Cain on him. There's nothing for him to be ashamed of. It's not a black mark. And the parent, who knew where this was going, interrupted and said, well, Larry knows that. Larry knows that it's nothing to be ashamed of. And the grandparents said, oh, but it is. And they all laugh. Okay, well, me and my mom laugh. And the grandparent laughs along too, eventually having no idea what's so funny. You know, that where you just laugh along. The irony is apparently lost or deliberately ignored. And then mom says, these things happen in every family. It's like with Betty. Betty, click. Instant mood change. The elderly grandparent asks, oh, and how is Michael doing at his new company? Now, I don't notice the abrupt switch because when it comes to small talk and gossip, I'd rather watch paint dry because at least I know at some point it's going to stop drying. An hour later, which seemed like 9 hours, I'm driving mom home and she ventures, I guess you're wondering who Betty is. I'm not wondering. In fact, it takes me a while just to figure out who is Betty. I mean, Betty might have been someone I just ran over and didn't notice. To stall for time, I say, yeah. So mom tells me about Betty. Well, when your grandparent was in their teens, they had a child out of wedlock named Betty. Okay, it wasn't actually Betty, but that was changed to protect the innocent because Betty was the innocent. This happened, I don't know, way back, probably during World War I, as best as I can figure out, back in the old country of East Borgestania. Like I said, some of the names were changed to protect the innocent. I mean, a whole nation of... Anyway, I'm surprised, shocked, and alarmed because I'm so naive and so sheltered to learn that dear Betty, the unplanned pregnancy, the scandalous product of sin, the shameful spawn of unconsecrated love, was abandoned basically by my grandparent to be raised by some spinster aunts or something. Wow, I'm turning into an adult. I'm learning stuff like this about my family. Sadly, I don't know if Betty ever knew who her real parents were. By the time my grandparent left England, East Borgestania, and went across the Atlantic to West Borgestania, eventually whatever the parent is, married and had children in wedlock, which eventually led to my parents and my brothers and our kids and their kids. Now, I'm not judging the unplanned pregnancy, and I'm not judging what was done. Back then, illegitimate children were sloughed off all the time with relatives or put up for adoption. And I know this because I watched Downton Abbey. And it's not just way back when. So it happened. It still happens. And people deal with it. or they never deal with it and they carry the guilt within them for decades, for the rest of their life, because they didn't deal with it. And the guilt evolves into regret, and it festers, and it erupts now and then, but turned outward, judgment, dismissal, prejudice, and holier than thou sanctity, false sanctity. Larry seems so upset. No wonder every time you see him, you bring up the fact that he is adopted. It's nothing to be ashamed of. He knows it's nothing to be ashamed of. Oh, but it is. Now, this isn't just a quirk of a single grandparent or a whole generation. It's human nature. It's what we all do. We turn it outwards, or rather, it's one of the things that we do that doesn't serve us well. But that was telling for me, that moment. That was really a transformative moment. I don't remember a lot, but I remember that. And here's why. Neither my mom nor I had brought up adoption or Betty or how Larry was feeling. None of that was on our mind. In my case, it couldn't have been on my mind because I didn't know about Betty. But somebody in that room knew. It was on somebody's back burner, burning away, and they suddenly threw it out into the conversation. So the lesson, the takeaway, what does Rick want you to know? Well, I'll let you take from the story whatever helps you, whatever makes a difference for you. For me, it was a lesson that when someone is narrow-minded, angry, judgmental, or righteous, or gossipy, it's not about me or you or anyone else. It's their own stuff. In fact, it's incredibly revealing. So every time someone rants and raves high and mighty, full of piss and vinegar about the sin and the laziness, the greed of young kids today, or those people like I'm doing now with my okay, what? Well, I'm not high and mighty. I'm better than that. It's a story. It probably didn't even happen. What do you know? Were you there? I hope you're happy now. And if you're happy, thank you for watching and liking and sharing and commenting, especially becoming a patron to support these videos, which are just, that's it. I'm returning to my roots and moving to East Borgestania. They understand me.